Thank you very much, Felicia Holder, Chairman of the Progressive Empowerment Party. Thank you, Michelle Davis. You put you put pep in my tired steps seeing you today. Felicia, she tried to not overstate how much we love this woman. Michelle used to drive from Cedros to Port of Spain nearly every day to make sure that the Progressive Empowerment Party built itself out. I want to tell you something. I don't have enough hands to give you a round of applause, but I really want to do it. I want a bigger noise for Michelle. Michelle's family. Michelle's family, her uncle was Mervyn Dimely. He was a congressman of the United States of America. Her family have gone on to much bigger things. Akili could pull it down a little bit so we lose the feedback. Her family, I have a big mouth. Her family went on to much bigger things outside of Trinidad and Tobago. She wouldn't say that because her love of Trinidad and Tobago still runs deep. And I respect that because Michelle could live anywhere in the world. She's a professional and she has her citizenship for everywhere that she needs to be. And she's still here fighting for Cedros. And that is what the Progressive Empowerment Party is. The Progressive Empowerment Party is a group of people that are committed to a better Trinidad and Tobago at whatever sacrifice it takes for all of us. I am looking at people like Shobi and Pat and Akil and Joanne who hobbled home tired last night from Mr. Salandi, the photographer, and his team hobbled home late last night after a long motorcade that we had in Port of Spain, and to come and to see them here bright and early this morning. Victor from South to Tong to South to Cedros. I mean, I don't know how to say thank you enough. I know it's not me you're doing it for. I know you're doing it for the country. But it still falls to me to say thanks. We're burning daylight, as she said, so I need to keep this as crisp as possible. The team responsible for what is going down inside of here, Sheldon Cann and Renison Jeffrey, you all deserve a round of applause. Listen, Sheldon Cann especially, I met Sheldon Cann. Sheldon called me repeatedly because he wanted to highlight an issue and he wanted to use my voice to highlight the issue. And he called me repeatedly until I said, okay, I will come and meet you. And Sheldon made me meet him on the Point Fortin incomplete highway to prove that the highway could be open, that it was victimization, that they were trying to hurt South people to prove a point, or they were saving it to open it in time for an election. And all of that nonsense needs to stop. These politicians have to get accustomed to the sound of our marching feet. They need to get accustomed to the sound of 1.4 million of us when we say, no, sir, you backtrack, you backpedal, you deliver. When I went into the Point Fortin hospital this morning, I went to make a point that I am no longer going to accept the nonsense of political tricksters and con artists working the people to death, taking their tax dollars, building edifices at 10 and 20 times the price of what it should cost, and then lining up the same taxpayers who paid for it to sit down on plastic chairs in sun and rain. Those days have to done. Michelle said that Cedros is indicative of the rot that is Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad is dying. I had to deal with a maxi taxi driver just now. He tell me, all you're giving me a check. I accustomed to cash. Any other political party would have cash. And I had to tell him, yes, cocaine cash that the FIU can't track, and you don't care. You will take that nasty, dirty money, even if it's killing your children. And that is what is wrong with this country. And I hope it planted a seed in his head, because selfishness is the opposite of the Progressive Empowerment Party. So when selfish people tell me that they don't want to work with the PEP, I say, be gone. We are a people that are sacrificing for a better Trinidad and Tobago. Our message is resonating through this country as people smell the decay of a country dying, and political tricksters and con artists jumping from red to yellow and back again, as long as they could eat a food and make a money and get a blue lights and say there's somebody in society. It is time to change that. And it's not going to change for as long as we sit down waiting to take whatever handout we could get Life is not a small hustle. Life is written for the children. Our job as adults, always the unwritten social contract, is always leave the world better than we found it. That is our job. So that the generation coming up have it better, not worse. We are counting the demise of Trinidad and Tobago in hundreds of murders a year. We are listening to bullshit artists tell us stand your ground. You want to stand your ground for mango thief, but lying down with billion-dollar thief? And want to fool people with stand your ground? You want to stand your ground with a commissioner of police that know how to call little black children cockroach, but he can't go after the contract mafia? He can't go inside the Chamber of Commerce boardroom and find those who are facilitating the importation of narcotics and contraband into this country? When you see those same little cockroach with AR-15 and M16, they can't even afford that. That gun worth more than the house they're living in. Who put in that gun in their hand? Who going to America where the gun coming from and paying the money? Keith Rowley, you want to go to America? You want to tell them, you want them to stop sending guns to Trinidad? America not sending guns to Trinidad for free. The military-industrial complex in America is second only to global pharmaceutical companies. And the military-industrial complex not making AR-15 and Glock and M16 to send for Trinidad for free. You're not getting that in Cracker Jack box, brother. Keith Rowley, the people who financing you and the PNM and the UNC are the people who are bringing those guns with the drugs into Trinidad and Tobago, killing them same little children. All you who want to stand all your ground talking about. So I telling you all today, miss me with your bullshit. It is no longer feasible for us as a people to close our eyes. If it's not affecting us, we're not watching. I am telling you, the wolf that biting your neighbor today coming to bite you tomorrow. Wake up. While there is still a group of us that you could stand with and stand together, I am telling you, no carry bottle and white oak bottle gonna save you. I am watching a company that's responsible for punch and rum, telling little young men to earn their stripes by drinking punch and rum. The most irresponsible corporate advertising I've ever seen in my life. Those are the kind of things that are destroying this country. We have an education system that leaves 10,000 children a year looking for a life. And then these jackasses that want to wear shirt and tie and live air-conditioned lifestyle of the rich and famous, trying to destroy them further, turning them into drunkards and drug addicts and grist for the criminal mill. I could be the biggest jackass in this country for being so foolish to still, at this point still, graying my hair to stand up for people who don't understand that until we stand together as one people under one flag, the shit will continue to flow. Trust me on that. They're not sitting down in Parliament and in the Chamber of Commerce and in Sinclair in Whitehall. They're not sitting down there and planning to make your life better. Think back. Look in the media. Tell me when is the last time you turn a page and see something that benefited you or your family. The Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago has been pressed into the service of the criminal-minded. Those two political parties did everything in their power to duck the talk about pedophilia, because we know through two reports that both the PNM and the UNC have been shielding pedophiles who have been molesting children and wards of the state. And the average person looking around and saying, how come nobody make a jail? Because you keep voting the wrong people into office. If you want to see people make that jail, put people in office who will enforce the law. It is time for secret society and Lodge and Mason and all these people to stop making the decisions as to who doing what and where and which law passing. We have to fix Trinidad and Tobago. The Parliament and the Cabinet are public servants. Every single person drawing a taxpayer salary is a public servant. Their job is to serve you. And if the quality of your life is not improving, then fire them. And on August 14th, you have an opportunity to fire 47. And our partners, the farmers, 61. 61 PNM and UNC councillors. Fire those. Start there. Make a point. Send a message that we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, know that we deserve better and we have had enough. I live in a country where this is a big business. This is a massive business. I live in a country with a rainforest climate where we don't have water in our taps. Now you tell me if the polytricksters and the corporate contract mafia in this country not setting us up for suffering so that they could profit. Tell me that is not the story of Trinidad and Tobago. We have a rainforest climate in every constituency of this country. More rain falls every year than the people could use, and they still don't have water in their taps. And since Mesopotamia, Persia, and Babylon, we've been digging holes. The Romans invented the way to take water from the valley over the mountain into our next valley. We watch Los Angeles grow from 200,000 to nearly 20 million people just by bringing water. How come nobody in Trinidad and Tobago know how to dig a hole, capture a hole, treat and distribute water? The Progressive Empowerment Party will destroy the culture of water truck, water bottle, pump and tank. The Progressive Empowerment Party will give you the luxury of twisting that tap and water fall out of it every single time. 24/7. And I am not Ganga Singh. When Ganga Singh made water for all his promise, when the PNM in 1966 promised water by 1956, promised water by 1960, all of them lied. And they lied because they knew that they could lie to you. That as long as that cocaine money flowing, as long as the FIU not counting, as long as the EBC, DOSI, as long as political parties spending on candidates more money than they are allowed to do and nobody getting disqualified from the election, as long as that is going on, the shit show will continue. And you need to want better because they are a small handful of people. And I want you to know this. The majority of good and decent public servants in this country already support the Progressive Empowerment Party. They want a better life. They want an end to increases that are matched with inflation that wipes out the increase. It is a nonsense culture of march with union leaders who are in bed with politicians. We are telling you that the OWTU's decision to go and stand with Kamala flies in the face of all the people that they hurt when they allow the PNM to shut Petrotrin down. Ansel Roger have to answer for that. I tell you that. I need to take a sip. The Progressive Empowerment Party undertakes to partner with global partners to reopen Petrotrin as a functional unit to at least give us the ability to manufacture the bitumen that will use the pitch we have to turn our roads back into at least what China gets from importing our pitch 100,000 miles away. We will reopen Caroni Limited not as a sugarcane processing factory, but as a company to be used to work to pay the 90,000 acres of fertile farmland languishing, owned by Caroni Limited, Clico, and Petrotrin, together with the 30,000 farmers waiting for land. Agriculture is the most important conversation we should be having. They're trying to fool you and telling you that they care about your security. They don't give a damn. All of the people who talking to you about security, insecurity business, they're pissing on your back and telling you rain falling. They're providing guard service. I show Trinidad and Tobago this. We spend $25 billion a year, private and public sector, running down crime in this country. How in heaven's name is that possible? How could we have spent $250 billion running down crime when all the crime in that 10 years are worth $200 million? So we have spent 100 times the value of the crime chasing the crime. The little fellas that has been sitting down in the Justice on Time truck, they're not thieving as much money as Aboud making. Tell me how it making sense. Tell me how we can redirect the money that we spend in fighting crime into developing our human capital and putting our people to work and creating jobs and hope and opportunity. Where are those things? Bringing 20 Chinese companies to Phoenix Park is not the answer. The answer is to create a Trinidad and Tobago that is open to development, where our banking system are not raping our people. Banks create no credit in this country. People in business, if you are not part of a chamber of commerce or connected to some secret society in Trinidad, you can't get credit, you can't get finance, you can't get foreign exchange, and customs slowing down your goods coming on the port so that your competitors could beat you. All of that is the truth. And all of that is provable. And all of that information is available to any of you. So we need to ask ourselves as people in this country, do we want to live in a country where 6 families own and control everything because they've manipulated these con artists in the PNM and the UNC? Or do we want a Trinidad and Tobago where hope and opportunity abounds, where every single citizen could follow their dreams and could have an opportunity like Michelle Davis' family to go on and develop to your full potential? I have named names. I know people who went on and left this country who couldn't get jobs other than bartenders and promo girls that go on to become authors, published authors, engineers. One person I know, she did a criminology exam and beat everybody on the planet. I know a friend, he couldn't get no other job besides working in a bar. He left here, went away, got his license, stockbroker and a multi-millionaire. Trinidad offers nothing if you are not the offspring of the 1%. It offers you nothing. You have a small hustle. And I am telling you something. Your small hustle is choking you. The value of the money in your pocket right now is depleting. The cost of living is increasing. Value added tax is robbing the poor. It doesn't affect the rich. We need to look at that. We need to look at the way taxation is done. We can't just say increase the taxation net like Colm Imbert when people like Colm Imbert get into not have to pay tax on certain things. We need to make sure that those who have the most carry the most burden, because right now it is those that have the least that carrying it, and they've been carrying it for too long. It is time to judge the performance of this country's economy by how well the poor are doing. That is when you know you are working as a government. When people could say that my job is me exchanging labor for money, and I would like to find the best job that serves my purposes, that meets my needs, that takes advantage of my skill sets and make me happy to be working and go home at the end of the day to my family that I could provide for. In Trinidad and Tobago, there are bank managers turning people down for mortgages that the bank manager can't qualify for. We have arrived at wherever we were going. It is a failed nation. Keith Rowley is a bullshit artist. Kamla Prasad Bisesa has passed her sell-by date. She holding on to Jack and Gary and tottering. I telling you, y'all go think I have a crystal ball. Kamla is seeing August 14 standing on them 2 legs. She is not well. She is an elder, and she should have family members to come and rescue her from this elder abuse that is the stunt that is the UNC today. The PNM and the UNC are 2 sides of the same cancer that has destroyed this country. And our next bullshit artist like Gary Griffith want to tell people who's PNM A team and B team. But when he was in Trotters eating Peter George food with Harry Back and Keith Rowley, he wasn't the B team then. He wasn't the B team then. But when Keith Rowley kicked him like a football, he gone running back under Kamla's skirt. Because people like Gary, who are incompetent and incapable and only know how to distract, deflect, and misdirect from the truth, cannot step to me. It is why when Akash Vani is having their debate, he wants to debate people from this organization, but he will debate Devika Thomas from the Farmers, Reunited Farmers. He wouldn't dare debate Phillip Alexander, because I'll expose him for the all hat and no cowboy that he is. Trinidad and Tobago needs leadership. It needs representation. We need to redevelop Trinidad and Tobago from the ground up. Our people need educating, training, retraining. Our people need to understand that anywhere else in the world, given hope and opportunity, Trinidadians and Tobagonians thrive. They don't just survive. We need to take our country to where it was supposed to be. God bless this country, pressed down and overflowing. We have more than any other country in the world, and we're suffering more than everybody else. So why? Why should that be our case when the grandchildren of Africa driving around thinking supporting that bald-head jackass is somehow standing up for being black? I want to tell you something. If you want to stand up for being black, look around you at all the black people suffering in this country. And if the PNM not changing their condition, give me a chance. I will fix it. I promise you, and even my haters will tell you, that man is a man of his word. If he tell you, go to the bank with it. I don't mix matters. I have decided that my life will count for something. We will not carry on like the rest of them who easy to sell out and link up and move on for a blue light and a shortcut and a contract and to play like they're somebody in society. It is time to be somebody in society. You must make a real difference in people's lives and not just make a mess. And that has been going on for far too long. We have a full slate in Point 14, Sheldon? We have a full slate in Point 14. I'm going to invite Sheldon Khan to give you their names so that you will know on August 14th, you will get up early in the morning. Early in the morning. Put out your clothes on August 13th. Trust me. They're going to try and thief some of the votes, so you have to overvote. They're going to try and not count some of the votes, so we need you to overvote. We need you to overcompensate for the crookedness that has been every state department in Trinidad and Tobago, including the Elections and Boundaries Commission. The Progressive Empowerment Party must beat them so bad. The ballot box must lean orange. They must know, before they count, they must know. Pep beat them in the north, the south, the east, and the west. We have a candidate in every corporation. Some of them we have full slates. We are calling on Trinidad and Tobago to make sure on August 14th, you wake up early, go out to vote yourself a better country, save TNT, and vote PEP. Thank you.